are going to another really exciting conversation. And we're jumping from the global stage to a highly successful Romanian startup, which I'm sure many of you use, but maybe some of you aren't even aware of. And that's why it's really, really exciting that Vlad found this like diamond in Romanian startups that has been started locally. And we'll hear more about that. I don't want to steal all the thunder, but I want to first of all introduce our host for this next fireside set. And he's a returning Techsylvania moderator, Corey Reed. And he is a managing director at Titan Partners and an accomplished entrepreneur himself with more than 25 years of experience in building and scaling successful businesses. Before going to Titan Partners, he was the CEO and chairman at Mastery Connect, where he raised over $30 million in venture capital and grew the company to over $20 million in bookings. And he will have a conversation with the Mondly CEO and founder, Alexandru Iliescu, who started the company right out of Romania and who is going to talk about how they are teaching languages to 80 million people. Please give a warm welcome to Corey and Alex.
Welcome, everybody. I'm very excited about this conversation today. And before we jump in, I just want to talk for a second about communication. So communication, I believe, is at the nucleus of all relationships. I believe it's at the root of most problems, as well as the nucleus of most solutions. And so, I also believe that learning a language, a different language, goes directly to this ability to communicate. And it provides a deeper understanding of culture, which enhances understanding and empathy. So the ability to communicate in a second, third, or fourth language also increases opportunity in life, personally as well as career. And that's why learning languages is so important, in my opinion. So Mondly Languages has created and is building a very elegant and powerful and frankly futuristic solution to help us communicate in a foreign language. In just 7 years, Mondly has grown from 0 to over 80 million downloads in 180 countries. These learners, who are adults and children, are becoming proficient in over 41 languages via mobile, web, AR, VR, and chatbot. Mondly has also won a cajillion awards, including Best of and Editor's Choice from companies like Apple, Facebook, Google, as well as having won the Entrepreneur of the Year from Ernst & Young. Oh yeah, they're bootstrapped and profitable, which is an elusive goal of many startups. So I first met the founders, Alex and Tudor, in Brașov, Romania, about 4 years ago. And while I was sincerely blown away by their product and the scale they had achieved, without raising capital, by the way, I was most moved by them as individuals. They have all the reasons in the world, the traditional reasons to be arrogant, but I found them to be the opposite, incredibly approachable, authentic, and engaging. So I'm thrilled to have Alex Iliescu with us today, the co-founder and CEO of Mondly Languages. Alex, it's an honor to have you. Thank you.
Wow, Corey, thanks so much for the presentation. I have the butterflies, I have to admit. It's an honor to be on such a stage where Tony Fadell, the father of the iPod, presented a few years ago. Yeah. So,
well, you deserve it, Alex. You deserve
thank
it.
You. Thank you, and I'm happy to talk.
Thanks. So, Alex, entrepreneurs are pretty interesting and multifaceted humans. Tell us more about you. Where are you from? What are you passionate about in life? And maybe what are some experiences that shaped you in life before starting Mondly?
Yeah, I'm from Brașov, in the middle of Romania, also in Transylvania, almost like a sister city of Cluj. And I'm passionate about computers and technology. I also play tennis. I used to play a performance level. And I like to have fun. I like meeting people and I'm outgoing. And I think my best ideas came from discussions and sharing ideas. So this is me in a nutshell.
Great background. Brasov is beautiful. It's stunning, actually. So, creating a product and building a company is incredibly difficult, right? And for many, it's terrifying, right? There's probably a lot of people here today who either are contemplating taking their idea and making it into something, or recently have. Talk to us about your inspiration to start Mondly. What's the why? What meaning did you guys want to make in the world?
Sure. Well, I can tell you it came with a feeling. First of all, it was a feeling of kind of an unsettling feeling. And we were extremely excited about the new power of the smartphones almost 10 years ago. And I was discovering the iPhone and really passionate about, well, I was happy that I could do all these new things with a computer in my pocket. Most of my life I've been traveling and meeting people, and in the process learning languages. So somehow we wanted to try our luck and create an app that would do something exciting for us, and hopefully that people would buy, so we can keep working on it and improving it.
Wonderful, thank you. So, speaking of exciting, Alex, your founding story is exciting to me. So, it's the sort of the quintessential started in my living room type of story, inspired to change the world. Maybe share with us some of the key stages of your founding story, and even weave in some big or impactful successes, as well as, some hardcore challenges or failures and the related learning for you and the team.
Sure. Our story is kind of incredible if I look back at it now. But we basically started with €1,000 a loan from our mother. That's how it happened. We said, "Mom, we want to build apps, and what are apps? Well, don't worry about it. Just we need the money to buy the computer, and we promise to give it back. We promised to give the money back." And this is literally how it started. A few weeks later, we bought the Mac, we started developing, we launched the app, the first very small apps in less than 2 months, with very little programming skills. We always try to create something that's needed and maybe not well covered on the market. Fortunately, at that time, 2011, 2012, there were a lot of opportunities. The App Store was very new. Most of the big companies were not looking at it seriously. So we could actually, be fairly successful, or, like see downloads and see something moving from the very first few launched apps. So that's how we managed to grow the business with no outside investment, and basically with no the only revenue was from our jobs. So we were doing this in the first year, in the weekends and after work. The restaurant money became development money. And also the time that we started to spend a lot of time in doing only this. We were really, really excited about creating something that is used by people and that it seems to be useful.
Right.
So that was the first year, and then we decided to move out of the living room. Our revenues were bigger than the salaries, so we decided to stop and do this full time, to stop the jobs, and we moved to a little office next to our house, just so we go to an office, and we do this like professionals. And this is when it was me, my brother, and our first colleague, when we realized that we could create more than just little useful apps, but we want to create the best language learning app in the world. That was our goal 8 years ago. 3 people in a little room.
That's wonderful.
And this has remained our goal ever since, because we're still not number one. So it's kind of a little bit more to work. But we are happy to be in the top 5 language learning apps in the world right now.
Congratulations. And there have been a ton of successes along the way. And, we often focus on those. I think there's a lot to be learned, especially for those who are contemplating starting or have just started a company or further along, to learn a little bit from maybe some of your challenges. Maybe what was a challenge or two that maybe even at the time felt insurmountable, and how did you guys overcome that? What'd you learn?
I think, I think in a way we avoided some challenges just by not looking at some of the possibilities. We decided not to even look at raising outside capital and just to directly monetize the app. And I see so many people struggling and spending time into convincing people to give them money, instead of just creating the product, or like convincing a group of people to give them money instead of creating the product and get the money from the customer. And I know it's not as easy as it sounds, at least for some industries, but I would say that avoided us a lot of wasted, a lot of pain. But if I speak about challenges, I think one challenge was to refuse the first proposal for an investment, which was very, very tempting at that time. It was in the first year, a few months after launch, and we were offered a nice amount, which would basically, we haven't seen that much money ever, in our pockets. And we thought about it a lot, but then we also looked at the potential knowledge that the group would bring to the company, and it turned out they were really looking to basically invest and then and let us do our thing. And at that time we felt that it's not worth to give a big chunk of the company, even though the amount seemed big. So we kind of trusted our dream and our vision that the app would continue to grow and that we'll continue to exit Q12. And in the end, it paid off really nicely. But in the moment, it's pretty hard to take that decision. So I think this was hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gutsy, right? I mean, looking down the path of we've got to create our own revenue versus having this cash cushion that some people consider oxygen. That's a very courageous decision but clearly has paid off. So, I lived in Romania for a while, and I must say it's a gorgeous country, stunning, full of amazing people. And I think Brașov might be one of the most beautiful towns, but it's largely a ski town, right? It's not a technology center. Many people there, when they think of starting a business or that go to Bucharest or Cluj or even abroad. Why did you guys decide to build your company in Brașov?
Well, first of all, it's our home. So we started from our home. But in a way, I think it was really beneficial because it's a quiet town and it allows you to focus. Like really focus. So what we did was we learned, we connected to, the Silicon Valley channels and, reading books and basically use all that quiet time to create. And then we were surprised to find really, really good people in the university, students and, young people that joined our team. And that helped us build what we built today. So that was, I think, one of the. It really made me so proud and so happy to realize we we have so much value, kind of undiscovered value in our city and country, and and it made us actually invest more in university and high schools, so that other people have access to Apple technology, Apple computers, and so on. I think now it's an even better city because you can work remotely, you can create teams anywhere in the world. So it was just great.
Well, I love that you have, and I love what you're saying about investing in university and in people. And while we won't go into it today, pardon me, I know of work that you guys have done with NGOs in the country that are focused on building the country and providing access to technology and education in the country. And you guys have supported that. It's really, really inspiring. So, let's go back to the capital for a minute. You talked about turning down capital, and I've been on that receiving end. I don't know if you recall our second meeting. I said, I want to invest. And you said, that is so cool of you. Thank you. I just don't know what we would do with the money. Right. And so I remember being impressed by how resolute you guys were with that. And, many believe that a startup, you must raise institutional capital. And so talk maybe a little bit more about why you didn't and what have been the benefits. So, maybe more broadly, what have you learned from bootstrapping that have made you better operators?
Oh, wow. Well, that's such a good question because right now I would know what to use the money for. So some things changed. I think we can reach 1 billion downloads in this decade, and for that we need probably we could use some big amounts of investment, and now we know what to do with it. But I was really honest with you at that time. We were executing on all fronts. We were growing fast. We were doing, the most we could do. So we couldn't really see what to do with more cash at that time. Bootstrapping was great because we really had to be careful with every piece of capital, with every dollar. And now, if you scale that, and if you think, you're doing ads on Google, on Facebook, although you're spending, I don't know, hundreds of thousands and sometimes, I don't know, millions of dollars overall, actually your campaign, you need to monitor your campaigns and really look at, the fine, at every cent, actually.
Yep.
You really need to look at every cent in order to make, the whole business profitable. So although we have a huge scale now, we are still using that thinking of being careful and monitoring the spend and the revenue in order to grow profitable and efficiently.
Yeah, thanks. I think you guys are such a great example of what is so critical in starting and growing a company, being top line focused, but bottom line mindful. And you guys have done that really well. I think, Mondly, I would say, is probably the leader in immersive learning through AR and VR globally, right? And also, frankly, the pioneer. I mean, 4 years ago, you were showing me, the AR interaction, that immersive learning with language. And so, what drove you guys to innovate in that area? And maybe talk to us a little bit about your vision for the future of immersive language learning.
Sure. This is such an exciting thing because I really think the inspiration comes from sci-fi books and sci-fi movies like Star Trek or The Matrix. And I'm happy to announce that indeed we are the best-selling educational app on Oculus. We just launched a few weeks ago. Please check it out. It's a great experience. What we do there is we simulate reality. We put people into scenarios where they can practice the language by speaking to these kind of realistic avatars. You would actually practice all the interesting or common scenarios, and to be able to finish the scenario, you need to speak your way through. So you need to basically speak. There is speech recognition, there is a chatbot, there is instant feedback on your pronunciation, and when you finish the level, you basically have been able to speak your way through a situation. So it's really the most, or the closest thing to actual immersion. And in AR, imagine bringing a teacher into your room, and the teacher can teach you all kind of uh, um, um, things by spawning objects and beings, and kind of creating scenarios within your environment where you can practice the language, practice speaking. And I think this is just the beginning. I can't wait for the future platform where we can really put this into action, with glasses and all that. So I really so excited about the future.
It's going to be exciting to see. So we're running up on time, Alex, but I've got one last question for you. I think it's a critical one. So again, as people who are considering starting a company, who have and haven't yet reached the level of scale of 80 million users, but want to, and material revenue that's profitable and all that sort of thing, what unfiltered advice do you have for all of them?
I would say listen to yourself. Listen to things that you can't stop doing, and continue to do them until you're successful. I used to dream to go to Oxford when I was a little kid, and I never got there to learn. But 30 years later, Oxford comes to us to work on language learning, and now we are partners with them. So dreams do come true, but just keep on executing on them. Also, look at the data. So dreams, but also look at the data, measure, and adapt, and improve.
I love that. Realistic dreaming and measure your dream. That's great. Alex, thank you very much. You're an inspirational guy. Hello to Tutor as well. And thanks for all that you guys are creating in the world.
Thank you, Corey. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Corey and Alex. It is wonderful that you can share this really great story to inspire a lot of future generations of Romanian entrepreneurs who will hopefully equally refuse venture capital when they don't need it and bootstrap such successful companies. Really very much appreciated how you paid forward to a new generation of entrepreneurs. So very, very honored to have you share the success story, which I think is not that often shared with our audience at Tech Sylvania. Thank you both so much.